I love this idea. This idea seems fantastic. I heard on my TV that the sun is getting too warm. It's warming us up too much. So we're just going to throw a bunch of dust and chemicals in front of it, block out the sun, and it's going to keep us safe. It's that simple. I love it. What could go wrong?
On a serious note, imagine actually thinking that this is a good idea. Like, imagine reading this and thinking that it's a good idea, and then imagine reading this and actually thinking that any of these puppets are actually scared of global warming. Like, they literally buy oceanfront properties right on the water. They fly planes across the skies nonstop in their private jets, sail across the seas in their private yachts, and then they try and convince you that global warming is this massive threat, and people believe it. Like that's the most mind-blowing part. I'm not surprised that these puppets are trying to poison us, which that's what this is. They're poisoning us. But I am surprised that people continue to buy it. After in many cases, they're literally on camera talking about how we're overpopulated and there's too many people. And then some of those same people will then go out and speak about saving the planet, and people buy it. One last thing I want to say is it's easy to hate on Joe Biden because obviously his brain is mush, has no clue what he's doing, he's an idiot, but he's just a puppet to something bigger. The people behind him are the ones I'm concerned about. People like Bill Gates that seem to have their foot in all of these messed up agendas. Bill Gates has been talking about this for years now. Why is this dude not investigated?
This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. And it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? I would like to give all honor, all glory, all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders of the nation of Israel. Shalom to you brothers out there that are laboring, enduring the elements, making your body a living sacrifice, trying to seal the elect, making your calling and election assured, seeking out your own salvation. To you sisters out there that are learning, listening, applying, being obedient to your husbands. Shalom, shalom. Mr. Brother Zachariah coming back to you with a sit-down lesson. All right. And I'm going to call this lesson, why is E, as an Esau, trying to block out the sun? All right. We have this article here, and this came out yesterday. All right. And it says President Biden backs Bill Gates' plan to block the sun. Okay.
Family, I hope you're prepared because he's back at it again. Look, family, Bill Gates' strange plan to dim the sun. Look, family, he has come forth with a proposed study that will prosper on the idea to dim the sun as an alternative to increase climate change. For years, we have been seeing chemtrails around the world in our skies. Look, family, look again, an airplane blowing the chemtrails. And look again. Family, everyone that was...
Okay, it says the White House apparently backs Bill Gates' radical plan to block the sun's rays from the earth, according to reports. All right. In a report released Friday by the White House, officials approved of a plan to fight global warming by blocking sunlight. The Biden administration insists there is no firm plan in place to cool the earth by blocking the sun. However, critics say the fact that this report even exists is problematic. Wow. Yeah, we know these devils are. All right. In 2022, the White House announced that it was funding a 5-year research plan to block the sun's rays on Earth. Radical methods to block the sun include increasing clouds over oceans and spraying crystal dust into the Earth's atmosphere to reflect the sun's rays back into space. They spray those chemtrails, okay? I know you see it all the time. They spray it. Even when it's a cloudy day, they spray that stuff up in there. And that stuff is very poisonous. People can't breathe and things because of it. All right. Bill Gates has reportedly financed the research of 60 scientists who are trying to block the sun. No sun means no crops will grow, leading to food shortages and worldwide famine, which the Bible speaks a lot on famine. You find it throughout the scriptures, which that's another topic, but we're going into why he's blocking the sun. OK, blocking the sun especially is harmful to black and brown people, Israelite people. Oh, predominantly, because we do come in all shades. OK. I'm not one of those that say, we all have to have a particular shade, but we are of a black and brown race, okay? But again, it says blocking the sun is especially harmful to black and brown people. 75% of black and Hispanic people are vitamin D deficient due to higher levels of melanin in the skin. See, these devils, man, they trying to find ways to take us out. All right. You know, in the book of Psalms, it goes into how they trying to destroy us. You know, it says, let us cut them off from being a nation, you know, and these devils are doing it various ways. They've already cut us off from our heritage, who we are, you know, cut us off from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, had us eating all types of abominable food. That's the way these devils work, okay? Sunshine synthesizes vitamin D in the skin, okay? Black people need 2.5 times more sunshine than white or light-skinned people, all right? And it says vitamin D deficiency causes cognitive decline, brittle bones, hair loss, muscle weakness, fatigue, feeling tired or sluggish, all right? Loss of appetite, insomnia, depression, mouth ulcers, and more, all right? So see how these devils move? This is Psalm 64:5. And it says they encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares privily. You know, these are, you know, snares is another way of saying traps, okay? They say, who shall see them, okay? So a lot of our people are blind to it because they have so much love for Esau Edom. When you tell them these things, they, oh, no. We need to love everybody. You preaching hate. You know, they'll say things like that. But we're going to go ahead and dive into this next article, all right? And it says, dimming the sun to cool the planet is a desperate ideal, yet we're itching toward it, all right? And it says, scientists who study solar engineering don't want anyone to try it, but climate inaction is making it more likely. Okay, so they're trying to use all kind of reasons to why they're doing what they're doing. There's nothing wrong, man, with the weather. These devils is purposely doing this, all right? If we decide to solar geoengineering, which, you know, them spraying that stuff in the air is part of that process. The earth to spray highly reflective particles of a material such as sulfur into the stratosphere in order to deflect sunlight and so cool the planet. It will be the second most expensive project that humans have ever undertaken. Man, they've been spraying that stuff for a very long time too, man. You know, a lot of times we've been blind to the fact that they've been doing it, but, you know, we're waking up, all right? All right, it says the first, obviously, is the ongoing emission of carbon and other heat trapping gases into the atmosphere. The idea behind solar geoengineering is especially to mimic what happens when volcanoes push particles in the atmosphere. You know, that stuff has been doing that stuff for a long time, man. Even volcanoes, it ain't nothing really happened. It's the stuff that these devils is putting up there, man. So another thing is, I'm gonna jump into some headlines. You know, just scrolling through Google. All right, because like I said, there's various reasons to why they do what they do as far as this spraying. You know, you got US Today, and this was 2 days ago, and it says smoke heat wave forecast for summer 2023 is looking bad, experts say. All right, and this is 2 days ago here. This is the Texas Tribune, and it says the emergency room visit surge. Texans die amid dangerous heat wave. You know, people dying of these heat waves, heat strokes and stuff like that. Misery engulfs the South as heat wave spreads. All right, that was 3 days ago. Global heat waves show climate change and El Nino are a bad combo. All right. And then this one says, this was 2 weeks ago, and it says, will 2023 be a hot summer? In some places, it already is. So, you know, you got this heat, and this is one thing. They're trying to combat the heat, but you got to understand that the heat is really detrimental to them, but they're going to try to make it seem as if it's affecting Israelites as well, okay? So, give me a second as I pull up a preset. You know, because we're sitting here talking about this heat, which these heat waves, especially the ones that we're seeing today, you know, like I said, it's nothing new under the sun. There's been heat waves before, but it's affecting these devils. All right. And this is Revelations chapter 16, verse 9. And it says, and men were scorched with great heat, okay, and blasphemed the name of God, you know, Yahweh, all right, which have power over these plagues. So that heat is a plague, all right, and they repented not to give him glory, all right. And the only ones that can really repent is the Israelites. So you got Israelites complaining about this heat as well, you know, but that's going to be your 2/3. You know, we might say, woo, it's hot, but you know, we're going to keep it pushing because he's, you know, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is protecting us. All right. All right. Now we're going to take a trip back to the humble beginnings. All right. We're going to go back to the book of Genesis. All right. And we're going to go into the story of Cain and Abel, because, you know, to understand why they do what they do, you got to understand who they are and where they come from and why. All right. And there's various reasons to why they're doing what they're doing. All right. But this is Genesis chapter 4, and I'm going to start at verse 1. I'm going to read a little bit. So Salakia. All right. And it says, and Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain. All right. So Cain came out first. And I said, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel. All right. You know, he came out next. All right. So she had twins. All right. And this is something, pay attention to this. All right. You know, and Abel was a keeper of sheep. Okay. That's spiritual as well right there. All right. You know how Yahweh tells the men of the Lord, you know, hey, feed my sheep. All right. You know, he's a keeper of the sheep. So that's spiritual. But Cain was a tiller of the ground. So he was a tiller of the ground, you know. All right. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, okay, of his animals, all right, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and his offering. So, because, you know, he gave the very best. He gave a good offering unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, all right? All right, and but unto Cain and to his offering, he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, okay? Hey, and pay attention to that word wroth, you know, because when you go to Revelation, it tells you how the dragon was wroth with the woman, you know, which is Israel, all right? All this stuff connects, man. Hey, it's a reason for words and everything. And his countenance fell, all right? And you know how it talks about the countenance of these people when they came up and had us in captivity, all right? All right. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? All right. And why is thy countenance fallen? Okay. And it says, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? This is why when we do the work, we should always do it humbly, and we should give it our all. You know what I'm saying? Don't stand on the corners and just be like, all right, I'm back doing another lesson. You know, you sound like Eeyore off of Winnie the Pooh. If you know who that is, he's supposed to be like real, always depressed and, you know, no kind of energy. You know, you should be thrilled and happy and rejoiceful. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing the work, man, happy. You know, you're out here serving. You know, he called you to something beautiful. You know, so don't take this for granted. All right. You know, pretty much Cain slopped some shit together and tried to give it to Yahweh as an offering. All right. And he said, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? So see, if you do well. So he didn't do well. If thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. You see that? And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. Okay? And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. So see what Yahweh was already telling him. You know, see, Yahweh already knew how this was going to play out anyways. But see, he had all that hatred and anger in his heart, you know, and it led to sin. You know, hating your brother. You know how the scriptures tell you. That's why it always says love your brother. Don't envy your brother or nothing like that. Because you could, man, that stuff can fuel a lot in you. And then you might do something you'll regret. All right. So he slew his brother. He killed him. All right. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? So he's being smart aleck. And he lied, okay? And he said, what hast thou done? See, Yahweh knew what he did. The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. So the blood is crying up to Yahweh, all right? And now art thou cursed from the earth. So he got a curse put on him, which have opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. You know, he committed the first murder, all right? When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength, all right? And this is why the so-called Edomites, or the so-called white people today, the Caucasians, your Edomites, this is why they have GMO foods and things like that, fake food. It's a curse on them. All right, but we're gonna tie everything together. All right, so it won't yield its strength. Okay, a fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. So, wherever Esau goes, Esau is a fugitive and a vagabond. This is why he changes his name. He takes over lands and he changes his name to, he'll be those people, or he'll call himself everything but what he is, his biblical name. We have biblical names, all right, and he done went as far as changing everybody else's names as well to cover up his tracks. All right, so he's a vagabond. Shalt thou be, which is another way of saying fugitive, which it says fugitive. All right, but vagabond is also someone like homeless. You're looking for a home. All right, and that's spiritual, because nowadays you see a lot of these Edomites. Like, even when I'm out here teaching, doing the work, I see a lot of homeless Edomites everywhere, and this is their time to rule. All right. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. And see, it didn't mention it here in the scriptures, but we know through the Spirit that he was stripped of his melanin. Which I can show you a picture here of this man with vitiligo. All right, and pretty much he was stripped of his melanin. Okay, and I'm gonna read forward a little bit more, because a mark was put on him. All right, and it says, behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth. Because it said the earth would not yield strength unto Cain. All right, and from thy face shall I be hid, and shall be a fugitive and vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. So why would these people kill him? All right, because nobody knew what he did. You know what I'm saying? But pay attention. All right, it's verse 15, and it says, and the Lord said unto him, therefore whoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. All right, but he had a mark put on him, and that was that leprosy. What they call leprosy today, or no, we call it leprosy. Vitiligo, Slakia. They call it vitiligo. You come up with these fancy words, but that's basically what happened. He was struck with that, and as you see on this picture, this is why. This is what happened to Cain, okay? And we're going to go into more, all right? So we know later Cain will be reborn, all right? And, and he will come back on the earth as Esau through the regeneration, all right? And that's Genesis 25 and 25, which goes into that, all right? And then it describes the fact that, he came out red all over like a hairy garment, okay? So basically, because he still had like melanin on him, but he had that vitiligo, which that was something new. Someone sees someone they see him running around like that, they go kill him, because he don't look like everybody else. Everyone else come from the ground. Adam basically means of the soil. We all have various shades of brown, okay? And he was stripped. So, going into this, but the next, so in Genesis 25:25, it says, he came out red all over. So it actually gives a description of what Esau looked like. But the next verse over, you'll notice that it never described Jacob's appearance, because he looked like everybody else. But they called him Esau, which his name means wasted away is he, and that's like basically wasted away is him losing his melanin. Okay, he had no melanin, and red all over. Which you look at so-called Caucasians today, or white people, they all have that. Their blood shows forth through their skin, and that's why Esau's name later was changed to Edom, which means red. Okay, and like I said, it said he was red all over, but it means red. And so when you say Edomites, you're basically saying red people. Okay, because their blood shows forth through their skin. When that sun hit them, and they can get all red, they blush, they turn red, all kinds of things. They get mad, they turn red. They love blood. They're bloody people. They like their meat bloody. It's all kinds of clues in here, which that's another lesson. But I just want to bring a few of those things out. But the sun hits them, they get that sunburn. Okay. But going a little bit more, talking about Esau. Esau was hated by Yahweh. Okay, and that's Romans 9 and 13 and Malachi 1 and 3. So you can take notes, put those down. All right. Again, Romans 9:13, Malachi 1 and 3. All right. Also, the Edomites are mentioned to be not only the border of wickedness, which that's Malachi 1 and 4. All right. But also the people of his curse, which is Isaiah 34 and 5. All right. So, you know, those are precepts that you can read on your own time, you know, and so you can get an understanding. But I am going to do a lesson on the Edomites and everything. So pretty much a lot of the things that I'm saying, it'll be said in another lesson, and just going into understanding leprosy and everything as well. They're clean leopards, but people with vitiligo, that, you know, that's another thing, because you could be an Israelite and get vitiligo, and what they call vitiligo, which is really, it's just leprosy. All right. So they make claims of the sun being bad, but you know, like a bad thing. You know, they're saying, oh, it can cause this and that, which is doing harm to them. All right. But they also say that it happens on Jake, but we're going to get into that in a little bit. All right. But Genesis chapter 1, verses 16 through 18, it basically says the sun is good. Okay. So somebody's lying, and we know it ain't the Holy Scriptures. We know it's Esau, Edom. All right. Basically, the sun just doesn't like you, Esau.
White skin contains precious little melanin, the body's natural protection against the sun. So whenever you're outside, you need to apply a sunscreen like UV to reflect away harmful rays.
We got loads of melanin!
Black skin has naturally excellent protection from the sun. White skin needs the extra help of a sunscreen like UV.
Better to be said than sorry!
Now you have some Edomite loving Jakes who will say things like the so-called, or you know, this so-called disease known as melanoma can affect blacks and Hispanics too.
A few weeks ago I made a video on melanoma and how it impacts black populations. I wanted to make a video on how it looks like as well. In medical school we learn about the ABCDEs in order to recognize melanoma. I won't go through all of these, but if you have an asymmetric mole that seems to have gone through changes in shape and size, is different colors, and is larger than 6 millimeters, you should check that out. It could be melanoma. But here's the thing that's important for black communities. There's a form of melanoma called acrolentiginous melanoma. It's one of the least common types of melanoma, but the most common in African American and Asian communities. It's typically found on the palms, on the bottom of your foot, on your nail beds, and can be mistaken as a bruise. Here's what it looks like on the bottom of a foot. Here's what it looks like on the nails.
Knowing that Israel will come in all shades, maybe those so-called blacks and Hispanics that are affected by this melanoma, maybe they're tares, you know, and I'm just saying, you know, because, you know, we don't know for sure, but I'm just saying they could be tares, because we know that the scriptures tell you that, you know, the enemy has, you know, crept in and mingled his seed amongst, you know, our people, all right? But it's not for us to go out pinpointing who is who and everything. You know, in due time it will reveal itself. But even with that, the angels are going to round them up, okay? And they're gonna burn them like round them up, like put them in a barn and set it on fire. But hey, part of that could be happening now when the sun is doing what it's doing to them, because they say this melanoma can kill you. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and go into reading this melanoma definition. All right, and it says melanoma. All right, this is simple Google definition. It says a tumor of melanin-forming cells, especially a malignant, if I'm saying it right, I don't know, tumor associated with skin cancer. Okay, and it says melanomas can appear anywhere on the body. All right, you know, and scrolling down, it says, all right. Again, melanoma is a form of skin cancer that begins in the cells, all right, that controls the pigment in your skin, okay? Picture right here of it, okay? These are some pictures of what they call melanoma and all that. But when you look at these pictures, you know, what do you see? you see actual, that skin looks a whole lot like Esau's. You know, it says red all over. That's red skin. That's Esau. You know what I'm saying? So come on, man. That's why you gotta really pay attention, you know. All right. Now moving on, it says skin cancer. All right. And it says what you need to know. It says 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer by the age of 70. More than 2 people die of skin cancer in the U.S. every hour. Wow. Having 5 or more sunburns doubles your risk of melanoma. Okay. And it's talking about sunburns. When detected early, the 5-year survival rates for melanoma is 99%. Okay. So, hey, that's just a couple of facts there. All right. And then I got a couple pictures here to show you, you know, just looking at, you know, Esau Edom. This is Esau, man. He's the one that's affected by this, man. But he'll swear up and down, like, you know, just looking at this, you know, this is Esau Edom. But he will sit there and he will try to, you know, say something on you. All right. This is what Cain was talking about when he said that, you know, it was more than he can bear. Okay. But like I said, he wants to make it seem like it's a problem for everybody. All right. All right. So this is Jeremiah 49:10. And it says, but I have made Esau bare. See, we're exposed. He's being exposed. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. See, he's all about hiding, you know, fugitive and vagabond. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff you have to start connecting the dots. His seed is spoiled. All right. And, you know, you're seeing them being pretty much wiped out. And his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Okay. So you, like I said, you connecting the dots. You're starting to see everything for what it really is. All right. Got one more precept here. Okay. So this devil is he's spraying his stuff in the air, and he's really trying to stop this truth, which I'm going to get into that and here in a little bit with a video here at the end. But I wanted to bring this precept out, okay? And Lord willing, this is edifying too, by the way. Like I said, you know, I just, you know, try to piece this together. It's on my spirit to do a lesson, you know. And it's a lot that you can really cover on this, but I didn't want to drag it too long because, you know, it's a hassle trying to upload these. But this is 2 Corinthians 13:8, because like I said, he's really trying to stop this truth. That's another thing that he's trying to do. But it says, for we can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. All right. So I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all honor, all glory, all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders of the nation of Israel, and shalom to you brothers and sisters. Now, before I end this video, all right, I'm going to play one last video, all right? And this is going into the awakening, because right now we're awakening into who we are. You know, the world is waking up because the scriptures tell you he'll pour his spirit out upon all flesh, all right? So what's happening is the awakening, and, you know, the sun may play a part in that. Yes, a lot of people believe that the sun plays a part in it. And, you know, the sun is really good on our skin. You know, it doesn't bother us. Like, I can sit out in the sun and be fine, you know. But it's hurting on this devil, all right? As long as you drink water and stay hydrated, you should be all right, all right? But it plays a part in our awakening, all right? So that's just another reason why these devils work so hard to keep it covered, all right? So I want to bring out some quick precepts, and I'm going to play this last video you can check out. And again, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson to you, okay? You know, just bringing out several reasons why this devil is blocking out the sun, you know? One, because it's giving them skin cancer. 2, because the sun is waking up the Israelites. And also, you know, it's a curse unto them. You know, the whole earth is, all right? It's not yielding her strength unto this devil, because this devil's ruling, all right? All right, this is Luke 21, and I'm going to read verses 25 through 28. And it says, and there shall be signs in the sun, okay? And in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth, the stress of nations with perplexity, and seas, or the sea and the waves warring, men's heart failing them for fear. and for looking after those which are coming on the earth. Okay, so they're in fear of what's coming. They see the awakening. All right, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. All right, this is what this devil's trying with the so-called chemtrails. All right, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. All right, so they know that he's coming. All right, them devils just doing that is also a sign of him coming soon. All right, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So it's for us, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you know, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, look up, because our redemption draweth nigh. Seeing them spray the chemtrails is even a sign, letting you know that this kingdom is on its way out. Okay? So check this video out, and again, Lord willing, this was edifying to you. To the next one, Shalom.
Chemtrails cause mind control. Well, what people don't realize is that your consciousness is governed by light. Light comes in through your eyes and hits your pineal gland.
You have to have that.
And you have to have it. And the pineal gland is the center of consciousness. It's the center of the soul, Descartes said. Okay? And so light, the color of light, changes your consciousness. And if the sun is changing, then it's possible that our consciousness is changing. It could be that the changing nature of the sun over the last 20 years is what's causing the Great Awakening that's happening. And they know that the Great Awakening is happening. Previous to our other conversation about archons, what if the archons realized that the changing nature of the sun was going to wake people up and they're going to find out about them? What do? That's what they do. They spray the skies.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. I have a friend who just was traveling through Europe last week, 2 weeks straight in Europe. I go to Europe all the time. I used to never see chemtrails in Europe. He said the skies were filled with them. I have a friend who lives in South Africa, Michael Tellinger. Same thing. He tells me the skies are filled with chemtrails now. It used to just be the United States, he said.
There's no clear days anymore.
There's no clear days anymore. And they've upped it. I don't know if you've noticed, but they've upped it. It's now much more spraying than there used to be, say, 3 years ago.
Right.
And the spraying is different. They've really gotten sophisticated. This is some of the
thicker, everything.
Thicker, like that middle